There's something about gas stations in the middle of nowhere. They look normal in the day, bright lights, vending machines, maybe even a friendly smile behind the counter. But once night falls, they become something else. A place where lost souls pass through. A place where time slows down. And sometimes doesn't move at all. Some people never make it back onto the highway. Tonight, I'll tell you 3 terrifying true encounters that all happened at gas stations. And trust me, after this, you'll think twice before stopping for gas at night. It was supposed to be a quick stop. Gas up, grab a soda, stretch my legs. The kind of stop you make 100 times without thinking. But this one made me question what's real. I was driving through rural Nevada, around 2:45 a.m. Pitch black, desert on both sides, and the only light came from my high beams. That's when I saw it. An old-style gas station with a flickering sign that said Harper's Fuel. There was no car in the lot, no sound but the wind, yet the pump light was on. I pulled in anyway. As I stepped out, the air felt off. It was like static, almost humming in my ears. I figured I was just tired. The door creaked when I walked inside. The clerk didn't look up. A tall man with sunken eyes and a stiff face, standing completely still behind the counter. "Bathroom?" I asked. He nodded once, but didn't say a word. I walked down the hall. Everything was dim. The mirror in the bathroom was cracked, and etched into it, almost like fingernail scratches, were the words, "Don't look at him too long." I didn't plan to. On my way back to the car, I noticed something strange. My gas meter, still full. I hadn't even pumped yet. That's when I saw my reflection in the station's glass door. Only, I wasn't alone. Behind me, the clerk was now right over my shoulder. His eyes, completely black. No pupils, no whites. I spun around. Nothing, just empty air. I ran to the car, slammed the door, floored it out of there. 5 minutes later, I looked in the rear view. There was no gas station behind me, just open road. To this day, I've scoured Google Maps. Harper's Fuel doesn't exist, but I still dream of it. And in every dream, he's getting closer. I've worked the night shift at Clyde's Gas and Goods for 3 years. Weird things happen at 3 a.m. Drunk drivers, raccoons in the dumpster, even the occasional knife-wielding meth head. But nothing prepared me for Red Gas Guy. It was a foggy Thursday. Business was dead. Around 3:10 a.m., a man pulled up in an old red pickup. No plates, no windows, just plastic sheeting over the driver's side. He walked in wearing a long brown coat, soaking wet, like he walked out of a lake. He didn't blink. "Y'all got red gas?" he asked. No, just unleaded and diesel," I replied. He stared at me, didn't move, just repeated, "Red gas. I need red gas. I told you, we don't sell that." He slowly turned and walked back to his truck. I watched him drive off. But here's where it gets weird. 15 minutes later, he pulls in again. Same truck, same spot, same wet coat. Walks in dead-eyed. "Y'all got red gas?" Now I'm freaked. "You were just here." I shout, "What do you want?" He leans in close and whispers, "I need red gas," before she finds me. Then he ran. Not walked. Full sprint to the truck and peeled out. I called the sheriff. They came and checked the cameras. Here's the kicker. He's not on the footage. Only I am. I was the new guy. First week on the job at Quick Fuel 12, middle of nowhere, Oregon. My manager, Barry, was a quiet guy but gave me one warning. Never go near pump number 4 after midnight. I laughed it off, thought it was a hazing joke. But the next night, 12:45 a.m., someone pulled into pump number 4. A black SUV, windows tinted, no license plate. No one stepped out. I waited a few minutes. Still nothing. Then the pump activated on its own. Gas started flowing, without anyone touching it. The receipt printed. I walked outside to check. Nobody inside the car. And no smell of fuel. The nozzle was dripping something. Black. Like oil, but thicker. It hissed when it hit the ground. I called Barry. He picked up, already panicked. Tell me you didn't touch it. I said no, but I was near it. Leave. Right now? Lock the office. Don't open the door till dawn. I listened. Stayed locked until 6 a.m. In the morning, I checked pump number 4. It was clean. No SUV. No black fluid. Later, Barry told me that in 1999, a man tried to siphon gas from that pump and died instantly. Since then, strange cars appear. Sometimes people go missing. I quit 2 days later. But even now at night, I see an SUV idling outside my house, just sitting there. And pump number 4 is still active on the system, even though the entire station was demolished 5 years ago. When I started working night shifts at Carter's fuel stop-off Route 79, I expected long hours, maybe a few drunks, and boredom. The gas station is just a tiny box in the middle of nowhere, one road in, one road out, surrounded by open Texas plains and miles of barbed wire. My name's Caleb. I took this job during college break. Easy cash. No customers after midnight, or so I thought. Everything changed on my 7th shift. That night, around 2:23 a.m., I was restocking chips when I heard tires crunch the gravel outside. I looked up. An old 1970s Lincoln was rolling in slow. Headlights dim, engine practically whispering. There were no plates. And oddly, the interior lights never came on when the door opened. The man who stepped out was unlike anyone I'd ever seen. Tall, gaunt, skin pale like he hadn't seen the sun in years. Dressed in an old, dusty brown suit that looked straight out of the 1940s. His eyes black, not dark, black. He walked straight to the door. I tried to greet him. Evening, sir. Need gas. He didn't answer, just placed a small brown paper bag on the counter. He finally spoke, voice dry and slow like gravel grinding. Pump 3. Fill it. No problem. Cash or card. He didn't blink, just slid the bag toward me. This is more than enough. I opened it. Inside were teeth. Human teeth. Not a few, dozens. Some pearly white, some yellowed, some cracked, bloodied. A few still had gum tissue attached. My stomach twisted. This isn't money, I stammered. He leaned forward, smiling faintly. His breath smelled like old copper. You'll take it. I backed away. No, I can't. This is. He didn't move, just stared. Then he slowly reached into his coat pocket, pulled out a bloody molar, and placed it delicately on the receipt printer. Without another word, he turned and walked out. The pump activated on its own. No card swipe, no interaction, just fuel flowing. When I looked outside, the car was still, but something in the window was moving, twisting, shifting, almost like a shadow with bones. After he drove off, I locked the doors and called my manager, Shelley. She didn't laugh. She didn't even sound surprised. You saw him too, huh? My heart sank. What do you mean too? She paused, then said, he comes once a year. Always pays in teeth. No one knows where from, or who he is. I asked if we should call the cops. Shelley said something I'll never forget. We tried that in '09. The deputy disappeared before he could file the report. I quit a week later, but it didn't end there. A few nights ago, months after leaving the job, I found something taped to my windshield at 3:15 a.m. A note. You owe me change. I took the job for the extra money. Night shifts at North Creek fuel stop. Isolated, foggy roads, not much to do. But after a few nights, I started noticing something weird about Pump 6. It talked to people. At first, I thought customers were just on Bluetooth. But I started listening closely, and it wasn't their voices. It was the pump speaking, whispering, urging them. One night, a woman came in trembling. She asked me, "Did you hear it?" "Hear what?" I asked. It told me to go back, that he's not really dead. I thought she was on something, but she looked dead serious. The next night, a man got gas from Pump 6. When he walked inside, he had this blank stare, like he was sleepwalking. He handed me a note. It read, "She's buried under the oak tree. Don't let them silence me again." Then he smiled and left. Just drove off into the dark. The next morning, a detective came in. Said he was investigating a missing person from 3 towns over. That guy had confessed, but never showed up at any station. I checked the security footage. There was no man, no car, only Pump 6, hissing quietly in the cold. I requested a transfer the next day, but sometimes, when I'm driving at night, I still hear that voice on my radio, whispering, calling me by name.